We are joined by Richard Stern, Director of the Federal Budget Policy Center at the Heritage Foundation. Richard, thank you for being here. Today brought us the weakest jobs report since 2020. What do you make of that?
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having me on to talk about it. Look, this is a dismal and disappointing job for all Americans. But the truth is, it's at the end of a long line of dismal economic failures under the Biden-Harris administration. I mean, not just that there's only 12,000 jobs created, but most of that was because of government-created jobs on the backs of new inflationary dollars being printed. I think the real takeaway here is the private sector lost 28,000 jobs, and in fact, manufacturing lost 46,000 jobs. There's nothing to be happy about here.
What's your overall view of the economy at this point in time? Is it strengthening? Is it weakening? I think for the everyday person, it's tough to tell because all the prices are still really rough at the grocery store and other places.
Absolutely. I think it's weakening for sure. So, those higher prices are the result of years of damage done to the economy. I mean, for an average family of four, we're talking about more than $20,000 of lost purchasing power, just money that the government has lit a match to by wanton, reckless spending and money printing. And so if you look through across the entire economy, you see that the damage done by all of these regulations and taxes, like I said, money printing that creates inflation, has done damage to all of the engines of our economy. It's made it harder for businesses to invest, to replace the physical tools they use to produce goods and services, let alone to expand. So, in truth, over the entire Biden-Harris administration, we've seen every single new jobs report on average come out with 12 and a few thousand fewer jobs created. And of course, they've been downwardly revising every single jobs report, saying just in this one that 112,000 jobs they reported in September and August were actually just a farce, that they didn't exist at all. They were a rounding error. So, I think when you take in whole all of these things, I think the economy is clearly weakening. I think every American is feeling that, unfortunately, in their pocketbooks and when they go to buy food at the grocery store.
A big question, of course, is how will the Fed react to today's numbers? Do you believe this makes a bigger rate cut at their next meeting to help the economy in case it is slowing down, as you point out?
It certainly does help their argument for doing that. But I think the important thing here is that, honestly, the rate cut is not the most important thing going on. So because the federal government is dumping $2 trillion of new debt, of deficits, every year into the economy, the government is taking scarce resources. That's money that could go to help homeowners buy a home or businesses expand and hire more people. And so, honestly, the Fed is the getaway car driver to the federal deficit's heist. The Fed simply decides whether you feel that burden as inflation or you feel it as high interest rates. So the Fed is holding the wolf by the ears on this one. If they cut rates, then you're going to see more inflation. If they keep rates the same or raise them, you're just going to see higher interest rates that box the private sector out of being able to get financing for home or expand their business. That's really the truth of it. It's a tragic situation for
Yeah.
everyone involved.
Richard, thank you. Some tough times. Appreciate your analysis as always.